If this video is showing up on your feed, it might be God telling you that it's time to invest. In Proverbs 13:22, it says, "A good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children." Now, I know that doesn't have to mean money specifically. It can mean character traits. It can be respect, integrity. It can mean that you're leading your family to God that will then be able to worship and praise Him for generations and generations to come. But I also like to believe that it does mean financially. And who wouldn't want to set their family up financially for generations, knowing that you have the ability to actually set your children and your future grandchildren and their children up all financially with a simple method that I'm going to be talking about today. And that method is just by investing. So let's get into it. But first, I have a story to tell you. That story that I am talking about is 7 years ago. 7 years ago, I was just like you. I was just like the normal person. I never knew what it was like to actually invest. I always seen videos. I heard of the Warren Buffetts and the Wolf of Wall Street type of news, but I never actually knew how I could get there and why. What was the purpose? And 7 years ago, I was actually working a job for $10 an hour. I was riding a zero turn. I was mowing. I was in the sun for about 6 or 7 hours straight. And I was listening to a podcast. And in that podcast, they talked about how you should start investing, but you need to think of it as why/how do you invest? And what I mean by that and how they broke it down was find the reason that you actually want to invest. Is it for yourself? Is it for a bigger purpose? Is it just so that you can retire early? That is a decision that you need to make, and a thing that you need to actually find is finding your why. But for me, I was hot. I didn't want my kids or my grandkids to have to struggle in life doing what I had to do from when I was 18 to 22. I didn't want them to have to pay for college. I don't want them to do those things that I had to struggle. Do I want them to learn and have to struggle a little bit? Yes, but I don't want them to have to do everything that I did. I want to give them an advantage and upper hand, all because I start investing. In this podcast, it talked about your why. It talked about how to actually start investing. And in that moment, I knew that what I want my life to be is to provide for my future family, my kids, my grandkids, and their kids. It's that simple. And so from that point on, I made it a purpose that I want to invest so that I can create generational wealth, because that's something that I've never experienced. And I think it would be awesome to leave a mark on my whole family for generations to come. But then I had to answer another question. How? And that how is by investing. That's what they meant by find your how. There's many different asset classes that you can invest in, but for me, the average Joe that had basically $0 and all I did was have a paycheck coming in, I knew that I could save some of that money, invest first, and live off of the rest. And so that's basically it. You're going to take some money from your paycheck, invest it, continuously invest it, and watch that money compound over the long time. And now I want to ask you a question. Have you ever played Monopoly? You start out, it's very slow. You have minimal cash. You don't have enough to buy everything you want, but you keep playing and you keep going and you go all the way around the board. And then you get $200 because you pass go. And then you go back around and you get another $200 every time you pass go. The whole time, yeah, sometimes you have to spend some money. You buy houses. You keep going every single time. You just keep going in that same square. Down the board, over, up, and back. You just keep going in the same routine. But every single time you pass go, you get $200. And I'm going to make a correlation on how that is like real life. So say you start on go every single morning. You go all the way around the board, you go to work, you get back home, and then you pass go. You get $200 more. The whole time you're going around. You get paychecks, you put money to the side, you invest. And every single time that you pass go, that's basically a return from the market. Because you're going through your everyday life, and when you play Monopoly, you're not having to do anything to actually get the $200. You're not working extra. You're just simply passing go because you make it far enough in the game. And that's just like investing. When you invest money, you take money and you put it in the markets. The markets are then working while you're doing other things in life. All of a sudden you pass go in Monopoly and you get a return from the market. And it's a continuous cycle. And as you play more Monopoly, as you get better and faster and you're doing it, you start stacking more and more cash. At least that's the objective. If you're playing it and you're actually good at the game, you start stacking more cash, saving, making better decisions, knowing that you're also going to be able to pass go and get an extra $200. That's like investing. When you invest, you're putting money in, letting compound interest work for you, letting every single dollar work for you, and it's paying you back without you having to do any extra work. All you're doing is simply putting money in, and it's investing into the markets in hopes for a return for your future. And the faster you start that game, the faster you get into investing, so the younger you are, the better, because that means your money gets to grow longer. You get to go more times around that Monopoly board to let your money grow. And I'm actually going to tell you, it's not going to be very long, 3 ways that you can start investing that'll actually allow you to make the most money and get that compound interest for generational wealth. The first thing, be consistent. If you're going to start investing and be consistent. Set your investments up on a regular schedule. Don't make it to where you have to have more steps every single month to go invest. Go get into some index funds and allow for auto investing every single month. Right when your paychecks are hitting, make sure you're investing on an auto payment so that you don't have to think about it. Your paychecks come in and it automatically goes to a different account so that it's investing. That's how you be consistent. You allow it to do it by itself. If you don't know what an index fund is, watch this video right here. I'm gonna break down mutual funds, index funds, and ETFs. But make sure that you're making things automated so it's less work for you to remember and it keeps you disciplined. So 1, be consistent. Step 2, keep it simple. You don't want to make it hard for yourself. If you're going to go into individual stocks, which is completely fine, it's going to be more work and you have to actually do more research. So by keeping it simple, you're getting in index funds that are simple to understand. A lot of these index funds are having you invest in hundreds of stocks at the same time, and it's doing all the work for you. So all you have to do is pick out good index funds that are following the S&P 500 or wherever you want it to follow and invest in those, because then you don't have to do as much research. You're keeping it simple. And like I said, if you don't know what that is, go watch the video I said. So 2, keep it simple. And step 3 is less consuming and researching and more doing. You're only as good as what you're going to actually go and do. I can consume as much knowledge as possible, but until I'm in the real world doing it, I'm not doing anything. I'm not actually progressing. So I love how you're watching the videos, you're doing research, but every day that you let your investments slide by not investing is dollars out of your pocket in the future. And so if you can just jump into the market, learn, and then come back and watch more videos, but just start today. Time is ticking, and the more time that ticks, the less money that's in your pocket in the future. So number 3 is less consuming and more doing. If you follow these 3 things by being consistent, keeping it simple, and then doing it and actually going out and investing right now, today, you will be a millionaire. I have no doubt in my mind that you can be a millionaire, because most people make it this complex formula. In reality, it's not. If you can just start doing it, set your mind to it, be dedicated, set goals in a system that works for you. So I'm talking about those automatic investment strategies. It will work. It's just you have to start today. The more time you put off, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. That's the devil's number 1 promise that he makes to you, but that's not always the case. The promise of I can do it tomorrow is a horrible promise because we never know what is actually intended for us the next day, if we'll even be here the next day. So start today. Start today if you want to make a difference in your life and your generation, your family's generations to come. Start today and you will make a difference. I'm Curtis Rylant, and I'm just happy you guys are here. I'm happy you clicked on the video because my goal is to make it to where you guys can become financially free in your own personal financial journey by investing, saving, and budgeting. If you want to talk to me, my contact information is rylant.curtis@gmail.com, rylant.curtis@gmail.com. And down in the comment section, let me know if you started. If you don't know where to start, let me know and just put, where do I start? Because I will make future videos showing you where to actually go create an account, link your bank account, and actually start investing. So just put, where do I start in the comment section? And I'll make sure to make a video on that here in the near future. But until then, remember guys, you can do all things through him that give you strength. Peace.